So, EA finally eats humble pie and delays their Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, till November 20th. Am I rejoicing in my mind? You know, I never want to see the demise or the unfortunate situation of anyone, because anybody can fall into the trap. I've fallen into the trap of hubris when I've thought that, nothing can touch me. I'm proud and, I'm in this mode where, I feel like I'm invincible because I've hit some milestones. And all of a sudden, bam, something hits. And that's where EA that's where they are right now. They're eating their humble pie because they've fallen into the same human trap of pride, and as they say, pride goes before a fall. Now, I'm not saying EA has fallen, but they have literally backtracked because they can't keep up with the competition. This article here on Kotaku says it. Battlefield 5 delayed away from Call of Duty and Red Dead 2. It says EA has revealed the next big Battlefield game has delayed the next Battlefield game a month, pushing it back to November 20 for what developer DICE says are final adjustments to core gameplay. There's another good reason for the delay, though, the competition. So, first of all, I just wanted to say something that, will make you think back. So, like I said, I love to dedicate myself to the study of history. It was 2017 where EA could have delayed the, release of Mass Effect Andromeda, but decided not to. Why did they not decide to do that? Is it, I think Battlefield 5 is a finished game. I think that game's gone gold almost. I mean, what they mean by gone gold is the game has already reached the point where it can be mass produced. I think that game is ready to go. I just think they have to delay it because financially it's a sound move for them. I have nothing against financially sound moves, but when moves are financially sound at the expense of your customers, then you're a shady company. That's where we have a problem with it, or that's what we perceive. I mean, I say I have a problem, but I do perceive that there's a problem here somewhere. And so the next thing, too, that I'm going to point your mind to is in 2016, Titanfall 2 could have easily been delayed away from all the other releases then, away from Battlefield 1 and from Call of Duty. They shoveled their own game in between, one of their other main releases and a Call of Duty release. And I feel so bad for, the Respawn, the guys that actually made that game. I mean, I bought the game. It was a good game. It was a polished, well-made game. And EA, just for the sake of, I don't know what. I mean, you can go read an interview where, the one of the presidents of, of the company, one of the leaders, I don't know if he's the president of Respawn, where he's in an interview with an EA guy. The EA guy said something silly, and he said whatever the expletive that means. He wasn't happy. I don't think he was happy because even he, eventually came out and said, I just felt like, a game that he developed, a Call of Duty game that he actually pretty much spearheaded back in the day, was being shoved in his face against the game that he had actually worked hard on. So EA is pushing this game back, not for final adjustments to core gameplay. That's a whole load of jumble. That's a whole load of horse manure. They know why they're pushing the game back, and they're pushing the game back because it's not a financially sound move. And they just need to come out and say it. But no, hubris. They never learn. And if they say it, they know they're going to admit defeat in this whole PR war. And so they're probably not going to say something like that. But it would be nice if they actually came out and spoke to their fans and spoke to their customer base, people who really want to play this game. Because, Patrick Soderland, being a multimillionaire, didn't care about anybody. I'm here making a video about Patrick Soderland. He's there, enjoying himself. He probably took a severance package, and left the company because, his statements pretty much insulted the player base of this game because he wanted to push a social political ideology over the well-being and the concerns, not just the well-being, the concerns, genuine concerns of the Battlefield 5 community. If they said something and you did something else, all you could have said was, we would like for our community to keep an open mind. Simple PR statement, vague, but at the same time will save you millions of dollars of nonsense and a whole social backlash that you can't handle. Hence, Red Dead Redemption is going to beat this game into the ground, and that's what's going to happen. There are people who have even said, there's a guy on YouTube here, his name's Solid Rev, he said if Rockstar, I almost said Rocksteady, if Rockstar tells him, if you don't like it, don't buy it, he's going to be like, what? And then he's going to go buy the game, because Rocksteady, I said Rocksteady again, sorry, I meant Rockstar, doesn't really care about, you know, your political ideology. They're just going to make a game. That's what they want to do. And gamers actually just want to play video games. They don't necessarily care about political ideology. I mean, they do probably in their personal lives. I'm not saying that they're not humans, that, you know, they don't have these concerns, but they don't necessarily want to have to deal with that in video games. Video games are supposed to be for leisure. Yes, they teach. Yes, they can actually influence culture. I'm not going to say, you know, video games are just these amoral, you know, platforms or, you know, concepts of art. I'm not going to say that, but I will say a lot of people want to play video games just because, you know, they just want to have something to do in leisure and they don't want to have to deal with all those issues being shoved in their faces. We have to be real with each other and we have to consider each other. And I think EA did not do the right thing in dismissing their community. Even Patrick Soderlund, there's no apology. We got no apology or we got no backtracking, if I may say. People backtrack. And I think if he had backtracked the statements and said, you know, what I meant to say was I want the community to just keep an open mind. If he had said something like that, I think the community would have been very forgiving because gamers are forgiving. I mean, why would you be holding a grudge against somebody that you don't know personally in the first place? So a lot of people would have forgiven, you know, and just waived, you know, say, well, you know, we waive your sin. And just gone ahead and bought this game and it would have done well. I think it would have, because it's not like Call of Duty is going to be some kind of monster now, but they're just going to sell to their main hardcore base. But for Battlefield not to be able to compete with Call of Duty, it's a shame. It's a big shame. And the lovely men and women at DICE who are under EA are going to be the ones at the back end of this because this is their work. They're at the core and the front end of this. I want to just appreciate some developers here. Let me show some love to development companies because, you know, they have to, you know, they're under the AAA machine. And yes, they're decision makers, you know, back and forth that can probably, you know, change, you know, and influence policy, maybe not change, but influence policy to be different. But then you have the low-level guy that's done a lot of artwork and does a lot of, and has done a lot of this stuff. And it's not like he's not getting paid, but for artists, I have to confess, one of the best things an artist can enjoy is what we call validation. For people to just enjoy their work is actually, for most artists, much more than money, much more than, you know, financial compensation, because there's that mental side of things. And these guys are going to have to wait, you know, again. And just such is the nature of life. If I was a creator, if I was in a sense, a game developer, an artist, a designer or whatever, you know, I would want to work in a big top company because that's a skill set that I have. And I may find myself, if you maybe rewrote the pages of history, I may find myself in EA. And I wouldn't want to be at the back end of this, but these guys have to suffer for this because of poor corporate decisions back and forth. So all these games don't make enough money. Hey, they just paid one guy $20 million bonus a year for bringing in money into the company, by the way. God of War was made with $40 million is what they paid, what the development cost for God of War cost, okay? And they paid a guy half of that as a bonus. So this games cost a lot of money to make. CEOs make a lot more money, okay? So let's not fool ourselves. Let's just be real and let's just tell ourselves that this company needs to wake up to what's actually going on. Anyways, I'm done preaching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening and watching. The articles are here. I would encourage you to please read them so that these, you know, these journalists can, you know, actually get some, you know, commendation and some views for their work as well. Thank you for your time and your audience, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace.